Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting, hair-raising, expeditious episode of Radiorama, where I'll show you how to work on radios, radio-based electronics, turntables, stereos, other stuff, and anything that happens to run on glowing vacuum tubes. And today we have a radio I've never heard of, Elrey. There's no other markings on it. I'm guessing this was made either by a contractor, probably made by one of the Plant A factories in Chicago, or it could be like California, maybe a Gefilen Brothers. I don't know, but it's 4 tubes, so it's probably not exactly the most sensitive set. It looks like someone's worked on it. We have a replacement transformer and a replacement output transformer. So, let's take a look under the hood. I wouldn't dare try to fire this up, even though I'm lying, because I just did before I filmed this thing, and see what's going on underneath. Alright, welcome back to day 2 of working on the little Elrey radio. And last night I tried to find anything about this, and there's a few other Elrey radios out there, but I can't find whatever this is. There's no marking, there's no model information. Must have been a really small end manufacturer. I left one cap in here because I wanted to look at it a little more closely. This is my guesstimation here. I think that there's probably a ground point that comes from the cap ground to this brass ring, which is then soldered to the chassis. So I think there's probably 2 caps. No, there's one. I'm about to look and see if there's any markings on this damn thing, but I'm pretty sure that this right here is a common ground, and there's either 1 or 2 caps inside. I'm hoping there's markings on it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to dissect it to see what's going on. But I'm going to mark the leads that it goes to, take it apart, or take it off of here, and then maybe dissect the cap. And also I need to see if there's any markings to determine the value. It's probably not super critical. If I was to take a guess, it's probably 2/10 of a microfarad caps in one. And if this is not the ground, then it could be a 0.25 rated cap. But none of the other caps had this brass ring surrounding them. The other thing I did last night, because, I don't know, had some friends come over, and my radio friends, and I polished the case. And the finish is in surprisingly good original condition. I hate to refinish sets, and it looks like this one's going to come out with a nice original finish with the patina that you can only get from living on the planet for 80 plus years, or however old this thing is. So let's take this guy off and see what's going on inside. Alright, well, luckily the cap was marked, and I was correct. 2 times 10th of a microfarad, and the lug is common. This guy. So we'll have 1.1 here, 1.1 there, and then they'll go to chassis ground. Looks like one of my leads came loose off of the, I think this is the tone control, or it could be the sensitivity control. I'm not really sure. Alright, so we'll replace these 2, and then it'll be time to do a test fire. But before we do that, we'll want to put a safety fuse in. So, incoming line, one end of the cord will go to this end, and then the other end will go like to the set. And we'll put a 1.5 slow blow. This is not a slow blow, this is an automotive fuse. Anyway, you want to put a 1.5 amp slow blow fuse in there, and that protects the set from incinerating itself, just in case this transformer decides to go nuts. It's good safety. Alright, so we got our 2 conjoined caps installed, and then I installed the fuse here, and I installed it in the front. That way there's going to be no obvious modifications that the new owner can see from the back. I've also attached a new antenna wire, and this is not a sensitive set, so I've got it hooked up to a wire that I've got that runs over my roof. Let's go ahead and turn it on. We're going to give it a test fire here, run it through my isolation transformer. And we're off to the races. I'm going to go ahead and turn it down all the way. the way that the volume acts on the works on these is completely different than a more modern set. I noticed this thing takes a long time to warm up too.
The women on creatine increase their bench press. Nobody ever got saved and didn't realize you had to do something different. Who doesn't realize? Me and my father was on my journey since I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. In your life, you meet people, even your spouse and too.
That's a tone control.
Person who's a mirror to yourself. So they get more powerful. And you go to the gas pump or that call. Go to Granger.com. More than it used to. When women do resist. You really were saved.
All right, well, we seem to be having pretty good radio activity going on. So it's just about done. Before I put it back in the case, I'm going to clean up the inside of the case. Maybe put a little glue in some of these joints here. Maybe go over it with a little more wax and put it back together. I'm not going to run an audio input in this thing because it's not practical. Because like I said, this volume control is not acting the same way that you would on a more modern set at all. It's I'm completely drawing a blank technically how to explain this. But basically the volume control works in conjunction with the antenna. I don't know. I'm making an ass out of myself. Some of you engineers can comment in the comment section and be like, well, that's how it works, and set me straight. But can't do it on this, and I wouldn't want to anyway. It's kind of a cool looking radio, and I just want to keep it radio as a radio. So let's clean this up a little bit, maybe do some last minute touch-ups on the cabinet, and she will be a done radio. All right, here it is, done. It's all in all of its glory here. It's got kind of a nice looking dial on it, and it's working pretty well now. Obviously no automatic frequency control whatsoever.
That was a way of life. It's not time today. Jenny, back to you.
In 47 minutes, past each hour.
What is mental test?
On the black.
88% for corporations. Out off of 101 North, but once you're on the Skyway, it's at the speed limit, and then the lower deck of the Bay Bridge over to the East Bay side. Not a single ounce of slowing to be seen. We keep looking at our usual hotspots like 92 West headed out towards the coast, and that's wide open. Also, Highway 1 barely seeing any delays, and then 17 South in the South Bay out of Campbell into Los Gatos and beyond. Not any sign of any slowing whatsoever, so that's good news for you.
It certainly is, except I'm not driving today. Anyway, this is a neat little radio. I usually, for some reason, I'm not a fan of this era, but I like this. This is a neat little set. It's not the most sensitive thing, but you know, it was probably a low-cost economy model, 4-tube model. You just had to have a super, super long antenna. Anyway, I really enjoyed working on this one, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. And if you have any comments, you can leave them down below. And until the next time a radio comes across my bench, I'll see you next time.